I'm sure you don't know everything about VS Code. You do. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Okay, I guess we'll end this episode early. All right, thanks everyone for stopping by this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to click the like and subscribe button. Let's see. Just kidding. All right, so hey chatters, welcome to this episode of DevChatter. Today we're going to be talking about a few productivity tips that I don't think that everyone knows about VS Code. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is multi-line editing. Now, I'm sure... Wait, don't leave yet. Don't leave. I know that some of you may know some of the ways that you can do multi-line editing in VS Code. This is a feature that's in a lot of editors. It's in VS Code, it's in Visual Studio, it's in lots of stuff. But there are a few intricacies in the VS Code implementation that I'm not sure you know about. So most people know this. If I want to come down here and I want to grab a couple of lines, I can click on those lines and hey, I can edit here. I can delete here as well. That's pretty normal. All I have to do is hold Alt while I click and I can click right down that line. I could hold the Alt and the Shift key and I can do the same thing. So again, if I hold Alt and Shift, instead of just Shift, if I hold Shift, I get everything. But if I hold Alt and Shift, I can do this. But not only can I select this, if I move to the right a little bit, you'll notice it starts selecting those as well. So I can select a big section based on this by just holding Alt and Shift. Sure, again, some people say, wait, I've already seen that, Brendan. Okay. But did you know that you could click here right before that? Click here while holding Alt and click here. And then you can edit these lines separately. So you don't have to be lined up when you do that. In fact, you can edit multiple spots on the same line. So I could go here, here, and here, and edit them all in the same line. So, and I can do that in multiple lines as well. So there's some very advanced editing features. Now, there are a handful of people saying, but Brendan, I already knew that one. Okay, all right. Let's try going further. So I have my cursor here on the word guard. I'm going to hold Control and hit D, and it selects the word guard. And now I'm going to press it again. And look, it selected another instance. And I press it again, and oh, look at that. It selected the third one. And now I could change it to, guard against. I could say... for example, in this code base, I could say ardalis.guardclauses.guard against. And look, I'm switching into a new thing. And yes, I just get that by just holding Control D. So if I want to get all the name ofs, congrats, I can get all the name ofs. I just hit it like 4 times, and because there are only 3, this is what I get. So I could say type of instead of name of. I don't really want to do that here, but that's the multi-line. Also, notice I hit a end key, and did you see what happened? Look at my cursor. See how all 3 are at the end? If I hit the home key, they're all at the beginning. If I hit the end key, they're all at the end. And notice it doesn't care. It separately did the end command per line for each one of those. They have really strong multi-line editing support in VS Code. Check it out. The next thing I want to talk about is a feature that you can kind of see along the side, and something sort of like this existed in Visual Studio before, but it is an interesting one. So you can see on my screen basically what this class looks like. But if it were long, you'll notice that I can see what portion of it I'm highlighting here over on the side. You can kind of see that a little bit. And if this were a little bit longer of a file, you would be able to see more. But this is called the Minimap. And it kind of shows you, roughly speaking, what it looks like. So it's not the slider bar. This is the slider bar. This is the Minimap. And you'll notice it shows the text in a little version. Now, I like having that on. Not everybody does. You can turn the Minimap off. It can be turned on by going back here into View and Minimap, and you get it back. It's also one of the commands, so if you hit F1 and you say Toggle Minimap, you'll see that that will do it as well. You could hold Control-Shift-P to toggle your Minimap as well, bring up the commands menu either way you want. But that is called the Minimap. I recommend you check it out. I think a lot of people just ignore it because it's off to the side, but it is a very useful way of getting a little bit of a preview of what your application actually has in this file. So take a look. It's really helpful. Our third item of the day, which is one that I don't know how many of you know or not, but something we've talked about in the previous episodes is being able to search for files. And yes, I know everybody knows how to search for files. By the way, check out that episode up there. When you do that, though, I showed us a cool feature, and that was that you could search by the word pieces. So if I had this class Ardalis guarded, I could search for capital A, capital G, and that would find it. Well, there's more that you can do in these kinds of things. Let's open up a class that has a little bit more, a few more symbols in it. Still not many. This one only has like a handful. But let's take a look at what we get. So if I open up the command menu, and you'll notice that it has started me with the greater than sign, and that is searching for commands. But one point I want you to see, there's a hint that it put in here. Look at the commands menu. It says you can put the @ character in to go to a symbol, or you can put a colon to go to a line. So if I want to go to line 12, I'm on line 12. Now I could also use Control G, and doing that will open up the search for this. If I do Control E, it brings up the regular search. If I do F1, it brings up the search with this. So if I do Control E, which is the file search, I could instead just put in the greater than. So you can change what kind of search you want to do. There's line number. And then here is symbol. And look, as soon as I put in the @ sign, I don't even have to start typing. It shows me all the symbols that are in this file. And you go, wow, that's super useful if I'm in the file, Brendan. But what if I want to find it somewhere else? Oh, you do, huh? Guess what? It does that too. So I can just put in the number sign, the, hashtag whatever one you want, and look, there are my symbols from this whole file. Yay! Now I can search for which one I want. And you go, but Brendan, why were you mentioning that thing about being able to search by word on the files earlier? Well, that's because, oh, look. See how it's highlighting the letters for the ones that I searched? Look at that. It works here too. So it works in all of the searching inside of VS Code, I think. I can't think of any spot where it wouldn't work for these types of filtering. It may not work that nicely in extensions, but it does work here. And this is a fantastic way. So the other thing, notice I have all these methods that have the same name, and it also tells me which files they're in. So if you're ever saying, hey, I'm not able to search for the things I want, well, you need to learn these. You can't always search for the file. Sometimes you want to search for the symbol, especially as people start embracing the idea of not staying exclusionary to one type per file. So if you work on a code base that keeps more than one type in a file, you should start searching for symbols instead of files. So did you know every one of those? If you did, then leave a comment down below and tell us that you already knew all those. If you didn't, then leave a comment down below with whatever the thing is that you know that we haven't talked about yet. And if you want to see the rest of these episodes, check out that link up there, or wait until the end where I'm sure we have a link for the playlist. Again, I want to thank you all for coming. If you enjoyed any of the things that we showed here today, be sure to click the like button and the subscribe button. Check out our Discord. We have a great community there, and we also live stream. You'll find links to all that information down in the description, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, and happy coding, everyone.